Okay, now that we have drawn our bug realistically with shading and just pencil, this week we are going to draw our flower that our bug is on. And to be exact, it's our ladybug. So I think we had went ahead and previously put this circle on the last week. So you're going to just go around. You don't have to trace yours in black, but I'm just doing it so that everything stands out better for you and you can see everything better. I'm just going to trace my petals, and you want to draw your petals really, depending on what size your paper is, but you're going to draw your petals really big and have them run off of the paper, because we want to try to fill the whole entire paper up as much as possible with this flower. That's the reason why I asked you not to draw a bug no smaller than the palm of your hand. Let's just get these lines on here for the petals on the flower. Okay, now that we have our petals drawn, we're going to take, and you can color your flower whatever color you want. It does not matter. But we're going to make sure that everything is really big, because we want it just to appear that we're doing a close-up, a really, really close-up, like we're looking at it with a magnifying glass. And we have our petals, our insect with the shadow, and our size, of course, is the proportions. And now we're going to work on, like we did our shading and highlights on the bug, we're going to work on our value and highlights with blending the colors for our flower. So we have the inside. This is going to be the inside of all of my flowers. And if you notice, there's a pattern where it has a thinner outside and a thicker inside. each petal does. I'm just going to lightly color it because I'm going to add some more color in the middle to blend it in. Like I said, sometimes it gets tricky to color these corners and stuff and keep going the same way, but you want to try to make sure it looks neat and keep that crayon going the same way so that your coloring just looks a whole lot neater. Okay, now that I have colored the insides of my petals, I'm going to color the outsides. Once I find the color I want. And we're going to color the outside of each of these petals, whatever color you choose.
Fools always fighting.
Okay, now that I have colored those colors in, and those are the colors that I chose, and it doesn't matter if you use crayon or coloring pencil. I prefer you use crayon and coloring pencil so that you can blend the colors better. But if you don't have access to either one of those, my marker will work. But we're going to come in and we're going to add some highlights from the other color, the outside of the petal, in here in the middle of each of these petals. Because it is a lighter color that we colored on the outside. And remember, we colored real lightly on the first go round. You may need to press a little harder to get these highlights to show up, depending on what colors you used. And that is where your value comes in. How hard you have to press, and how firmly you have to color. As you can tell, you can really see how those colors are mixing together and kind of making it stand out more. And we're also, once we get finished with doing the purple, I'm going to pick a color and I'm going to go on the inside of that blue. And I think I'm going to choose pink. And I'm going to lightly go in there with pink inside of that blue. Just to bring some highlights out of it. Make that blue stand out a little more. And you're just going to bring some of that color through out there real lightly. Depending, like I said, to how hard you press to get the color to show up depends on what colors you use. And now you can tell throughout the whole entire flower that it's just not one color. We have colors all fused together. throughout the flower petals. Now we're going to color the inside. And we're going to have to be careful because we don't want to color over our bug. So we are going to have to kind of go different ways to, because I would suggest going around your bug carefully first and getting in those smaller spaces. And you may use, I would suggest orange or yellow mainly for, or even red for the center of your flower, because that's supposed to be kind of realistic looking, more realistic looking. And generally the inside of your flowers when they bloom are orange or yellow, and sometimes they're like a dark orange, almost red. Okay, now here's where I'm going to try to keep this going in some kind of a circular pattern so that my coloring stays about the same all the way around. And once I have it completely colored in, I'm going to take a darker color. If not, you'll just have to press down harder, which takes us back to our value again, and kind of add some detail, little speckles where the pollen or whatever may be thicker or darker in some spots, or just for texture altogether, because the inside of flowers kind of feel with all that pollen, and if you've ever touched when it kind of rubs off and gets on your finger, it feels kind of dusty. thick and dry. And once I feel that I have added enough of extra detail in the center, there we have it. That is our bug on a flower, and it is up close, like we're looking at it through a magnifying glass.